I actually think that's what happens when you follow John. What else is there to say? But thank you so much. Thank you for inviting me to be here today. I'm really happy to be part of the Works for Me event. It's a wonderful event. And in keeping with the theme, I've been asked to talk about a set of employment strategies that really work called customized employment. Now, I could give you a definition of customized employment. I could even give you a federal definition that's been adopted by the government. But instead, let me just show you how customized employment works. So here's a few stories from the trenches. First, general manager of a restaurant has been struggling to keep his wine inventory up to date. Now, that's a real problem in a restaurant because wine is your major profit center, and you don't want to have a good customer come in and ask for a bottle, and it isn't there. So night after night, he would pull one of the wait staff or pull one of the bartenders and send them off to the wine cellar, but they'd never really be able to get the job done. They didn't have the time, and they didn't like it to boot because it's kind of a tedious task. Enter customized employment in the person of a young woman who comes from a wine-loving family and who prides herself on her ability to focus and her attention to detail. So now she's in charge of the wine inventory. She loves the job. Her coworkers really value her contribution because they know what it takes to get it done, and the general manager knows when to order the Merlot. Second, so apparently car dealerships still have to do a lot of hard copy paperwork. It's required by the government for certain leases and purchases. So at one dealership we knew the paperwork was piling up on someone's desk, the bookkeeper, he never had time to file it, and of course when they needed a document they could never find it. So again, customized employment came to the rescue, this time in the person of a woman I'll call Carla. She really wanted to find a job, her very first, and her dream was to work in an office. But she was never able to learn to use the computer, which is pretty much a necessity these days if you want a job in an office. However, she was really good at matching letters and numbers, which is just the skill that the dealership needed to take care of this paperwork. So for the past 2 years, she's loved working in a quiet and friendly office, and the bookkeeper is happy because he can see the top of his desk again. So you can see how customized employment works. For the job seeker, it's a route to a good job match, and a place in a business where she can contribute as a team member. This happens through a process called discovery that identifies a person's skills and talents and the conditions she needs to be successful in the workforce. In Carla's case, for example, she had the skill of matching numbers and letters, and we knew from the discovery process that she was going to thrive in a low-keyed environment that offered a lot of support. For the business, customized employment is really a problem solver. I've given you a couple of examples, but there's a myriad of others. For example, the store manager who no longer has to pay a lot of overtime because he hired someone to unpack and organize the new merchandise, so he no longer has to pull his cashiers and have them stay late. Starbucks manager who can now keep his milk containers filled in the morning and the tables cleaned. It's a morning rush. The baristas don't have time to do it, but he hired someone to do it through customized employment. OPWDD has championed the use of customized employment, and thanks to OPWDD leadership, more and more service providers are using customized employment strategies. More and more businesses are benefiting, and more people with developmental disabilities have good jobs. Together, we're building a truly inclusive New York State workforce, one that works for me, works for you, works for all New Yorkers. Thank you.